The Oxford Dictionary provides the following definitions. Novel, a story long enough to fill a complete book in which the characters and events are usually imaginary. Examples of these include To Kill a Mockingbird, Harry Potter, Pride and Prejudice.
Short story, a story usually about imaginary characters and events that is short enough to be read from beginning to end without stopping. Examples of these include fairy tales such as Cinderella and folk tales such as The Sun, a Bushman legend. Some novels are longer, some are shorter. Some you can read in a day, some you can't. For instance, the popular novel The Lord of the Flies is only about 60,000 words, whilst others are over 100,000 words. Some short stories are 1,000 words, while others are 20,000 words. Are you still feeling a little confused? Based on these definitions, it's clear that the length alone cannot be used as the only category in order to define a novel and a short story. So let's take a look at some of the other definitions. Let's firstly take a look at a novel. To understand the experience of reading a novel, pretend you're going on a journey with someone, or even a group of people. The characters in the novel are like the people on the journey with you, who change and grow. These changes are portrayed through a sequence of events, such as relationships, joy, hardship, loss, or even grief. The most popular novels are often made up of complex and sustainable ideas. Due to a novel being longer in length, many writers have a cast of characters, symbols, settings, and themes. All of these elements then have to be connected or linked to each other. The story can be told from any of these characters' viewpoints, and the author of a novel has to closely monitor how their story evolves so that everything flows seamlessly. The main aim is to create a novel that reads well and not lots of little stories. As you can imagine, this can be very tricky. For some authors, this process can take years and years. Whereas a short story can be defined further by the following characteristics. They're usually short enough to be read in one sitting. A short story is often less complex than a novel. However, it is an intense experience, something to really linger over and savor. They often have a stronger sense of unity throughout the story, and often take a close look at one specific event or character. They have a theme that runs through the story like a thread. Short stories often contain problems that are resolvable relatively quickly. This gives the author a chance to explore usually one idea with one character. Normally, a short story takes less time to write than a novel. This does not mean that it's easier, as the author still has to hold the reader's attention with fewer themes, characters, and events, whilst still including a lot of detail. If fiction were like watching your favorite series on Netflix, a novel would be watching the full season of MasterChef, where each episode works together to bring a complete series. While a short story would be one episode, where each episode is brought out to its full effect as a single episode. Many writers start with short stories before they move on to novel writing. Short stories are great to start with because they take less time to write and usually require a less complicated structure, letting you develop your storytelling skills in a more manageable way.